Before the execution, a patch of hair is shaved from the inmate's head to ensure the wet sponge fits snugly against the scalp, allowing electricity to flow smoothly through the brain, ending life quickly and painlessly. Under the watchful eyes of the victims' families, the condemned man's breathing finally stops. But this time, the new guard deliberately left the sponge dry, curious to see what would happen. He carefully placed the dry sponge on the prisoner's head, waiting for the execution to begin. Paul, the supervising officer, glanced at the water bucket, noticing it was barely used. Just as the execution began, when the current connected, the prisoner's body violently convulsed. Instead of losing consciousness immediately as usual, he let out a horrifying scream. The smell of burning flesh filled the air. Witnesses stood up, trying to escape the terrible scene. Paul's face went pale, realizing the sponge hadn't been soaked. But once an electrocution starts, it cannot be stopped midway. Everyone could only watch as the prisoner endured unimaginable suffering. The new guard finally panicked, but when the warden shouted to turn off the power, Paul whispered that the prisoner was still alive. The guard's face turned ghostly white, unable to look at the execution chamber, trying to turn away, but Paul grabbed his shoulder, forcing him to face his handiwork. Only when the prisoner's body was completely charred and life had fully ended did Paul order the power cut. Another guard angrily grabbed a fire extinguisher, making the perpetrator clean up the aftermath, while the new guard pretended innocence, stammering that he didn't know the sponge needed to be wet. Paul quickly stopped his colleague, even knowing the negligence was intentional. Without evidence, Paul was powerless. He could only ask the warden to transfer this dangerous guard elsewhere. After this incident, the guard left the prison for good, carrying the condemned man's suffering and the sin he committed within those walls.